little interesting that happened that just popped into my mind was the last college basketball game I saw in person and the last pro football game I saw. Both went into overtime and both had Brock Purdy at it. So obviously the Super Bowl was, I saw that game. We lost in overtime, and then I was watching Stanford women's basketball, where my sister Kate is the new head basketball coach taking over for Tyler Vanderveer. But the last home game they had in the playoffs, the NCAA tournament round of 16, I think, was against Iowa State, and Brock Purdy was there, and that game went into overtime. And we had a player on our Stanford team, and he had a player on this Iowa State team that both scored, I think, 38 or 39 points. But
Wow.
anyway, Brock's team came on the short end of that overtime loss too. So I was glad about that one, and then obviously disappointed about the Super Bowl.
Yeah, the Super Bowl was a sad one. I don't think I'll ever get over that one. That one gives me nightmares to this day. Ted, any other any thoughts on the Brock Purdy criticism that he's been having over the last couple of weeks?
No, I just kind of want to echo what John said. We had the lead in overtime. We scored first. We scored the field goal, and our defense wasn't able to hold. And I think Purdy did a pretty damn good job, considering that John Feliciano, our right guard, was out, and we had Spencer Burford in there, and he was like a turnstile. There were so many plays where Chris Jones was coming literally untouched, unabated, not slowed or touched in any way, and it made his life very difficult. But I don't blame Brock Purdy for that. I blame our offensive line. I blame Kyle Shanahan for not investing in offensive line more heavily. Hopefully these draft picks that we got will help out, and hopefully some of these tight ends, like the one we got from Washington, I'm blanking on his name all of a sudden, but I'm excited about him, someone who can block and catch.
Oh yeah, Logan Thomas. So yeah, they got a couple new tight ends, but I still feel like maybe the O-line hasn't been at that point where we all want them to be. So John, what do you think about the 49ers offensive line? I don't know if you've been keeping up with the O-line, but that was definitely one of the criticisms from the Super Bowl, that they need to bulk up. And they really, if you look at the draft, I don't feel like they really added a ton of immediate impact players. Maybe some guys for down the line. What's your stance on the O-line and the 49ers right now?
Well, to tie it in with our conversation so far on Brock, Brock really hasn't had a full offseason or a full training camp to improve his game. So I just feel like he's going to get better. And, I know when I was there with Steve Young and Joe Montana, we didn't necessarily have the biggest offensive line, but they were versatile. And I know that Coach Shanahan and Coach Walsh both believed in the run game, the pass game, and what they called was the pass play, or the play action pass. And I think with the athleticism, the movement, I think our O-line is going to come around. And besides being able to do those three things, I know that Coach Walsh and Coach Shanahan and Coach and General Manager Lynch know the next most important thing of having three facets to your offensive game. You also need pass rushers. So I think that was kind of the one thing that I kind of looked at closer to this. We kind of lacked our pass rush. I was more concerned about the pass rush there at the end of the season. So I think the offense is going to work out for us. And in reality, I've kind of said this from day one. It's a little, sometimes we're spoiled here at the 49ers with our offense, but really it's the defense that win championships. We had plenty of games when I was with the 49ers back in the heyday where it wasn't the offense winning the game. It was the defense closing out the game, getting the big sack, getting the big turnover late, and finishing off the game that way. So I don't know exactly what happened with our pass rush last year, but I know we didn't get as much pressure as we wanted. I know that we did make some changes on our defensive staff. But from my standpoint, I think the focus needs to be on the defensive side.
Defensive side. Yeah, the run defense definitely took a hit last year. Like you mentioned, D-line kind of wasn't as aggressive as we had seen them be in the past. So hopefully the new defensive additions, they've added plenty of people to this D-line over the last couple of weeks, couple of months since the free agency started. And they got a new defensive coordinator. So hopefully all those changes will be good changes, because you're absolutely right. You need to have both sides of the ball to kind of to win the games. If you watch Super Bowl, Chiefs, boom, Chris Jones, he was a difference for them, and we couldn't stop him. So I agree on that nature. Now, another part of that offense is Christian McCaffrey, the best running back in the league. He got paid handsomely over the last couple of weeks. I know we haven't talked to you since then, but what were your thoughts? Christian McCaffrey got the $38 million contract extension. He kind of set the market for running backs. And it's kind of unfortunate because if you look at him and you're like, you look at his contract, he's still kind of underpaid for what he does for the 49ers offense, in my opinion. But what did you think? Were you pretty you feel like he's still getting underpaid at 19 million a year, or what are your thoughts on Christian
Right.
McCaffrey though?
I'm going to keep coming back to everything revolves around the quarterback and bringing up Brock Purdy again. But what Christian gives us is the other big thing in our offense is the run after catch or the rack, and he's extremely valuable. And as good as he is on the field, he's even a better leader on the practice field or back behind the scenes because he works his butt off, and that's just a common trait that I saw. The running back position the 49ers had was Roger Craig when I played, and he set the tone for preseason workouts, in-season workouts, and postseason workouts. So I think as long as our players stay healthy, of which Christian goes all out all the time, I think the 49ers got a good deal at $39 million with Christian.
Yeah, you got a pretty good deal for a guy that does pretty much everything for them. Ted, what's your thoughts? I know we talked about this last week about Christian McCaffrey getting his contract. We were pretty happy. But also, I don't know if we talked about this, me and you last week, but he got thrown on the cover of Madden. Man, I had predicted that. I said, hey, I think it's going to happen. That was what the rumor was. And then, boom, Tuesday morning, we found out he got the cover athlete on Madden. So what were your thoughts on that?
Fine, Raj, make me say it. I was wrong. I thought it was going to be Joe Burrow. I thought that the QB position was so overvalued and running back so undervalued that there's no way they'd put CMC on there, but you nailed it. And congrats. It makes me wonder if the Niners knew that the cover was coming and they did the contract extension print, because nobody was talking about CMC getting extended this offseason, right? We talked about Brandon Aiyuk. We talked about Dre Greenlaw. We talked about all these other guys, Mooney Ward, that have contracts coming up. But Christian already had 2 more years left on this deal. So even next year, it wasn't necessarily super urgent to re-up him. So it makes me wonder if they heard he was going to get the cover and like, well, maybe it's a good time to, I guess it freed up some money as well, too, by extending him for this season. But I couldn't be happier. If we're paying Debo 22, 23, if we're paying McCaffrey 19, that's a hell of a deal because McCaffrey is much more important to this team than Debo Samuel.
Yeah,
and it pains me to say that because Debo's one of my favorites. I love the way he and Kittle play, but CMC he runs, he catches, he blocks. Yeah, and I always, it's gonna get so old hearing me say this, but I love his ability as a former quarterback himself to really maximize the distance between him and any defender on an outlet pass and minimize the distance between him and the chains, where a lot of times he's actually past the chains and still far from a defender. And he just has an incredible ability to do that, so that whether it was Jimmy G or now Brock Purdy goes through their progression, they know that there's sort of a pot of gold waiting at the end if they're patient and go through their progressions as they're supposed to. I think it really made Jimmy G a much better quarterback than I ever saw him play before we had McCaffrey.
Yeah, the only thing, if I could just add in there, I just a couple of weeks ago, I did the Coach Mooch bocce ball tournament down at Campo de Bocce in Los Gatos, which has been going on for over 25 years. The event used to be co-hosted with John Madden. And I think it's just cool that the more notoriety, the more attention that we get for Northern California football, the better. I was just at that event and talking about, throwing out the question, who has the most significant name in pro football? And it's kind of a trick question, but I would say, and my group eventually agreed with me after we drank our second or third beer, that John Madden's the biggest name in football. Because of Madden. And I think it's great. Sometimes we get discounted out here on the West Coast. Obviously, we got discounted in college football. We got a luck of, just the way that football has gone with TV. We got stuck with these late games. I think that was what caused the Pac-12 to eventually unravel. It's because a lot of our games were being played at midnight on the East Coast. So now the Pac-12 is dispersed, and they got teams that can play 9 a.m. games now on TV. And I think that's basically what happened. So with Christian McCaffrey, well-deserved for him to be on the cover of Madden. It just makes our brand of Northern California football even stronger.
Absolutely, yeah.
And also making sure everyone out there knows that John Madden went to Jefferson High School in San Francisco, or Daly City, and I'm born and raised here in the Bay Area. So and there was a strong contingency of John Madden's college, Cal Poly, where they had, I think, at least one team at the Coach Mooch's tournament 2 weeks ago, bocce ball.
Also wanted to mention, for anybody who's coming in late, that Raj and I are talking to John Paye here. He's a former Stanford quarterback. I got to watch him play basketball and football collegiately at Stanford. He was on the 49ers. We met at a Super Bowl party, and he said, when I was on the team, and I said, oh, who are you? He said, John Paye. I'm like, oh my God, I got to watch you play. And I noticed he had the ring on. He got a ring with the 89 team. He played with Steve Young and Joe Montana, Bill Walsh, George Seifert, I believe, too, as well in 89. So just anybody who's late coming in, I want to make sure everybody knew who we're talking to. And great guy, and super happy to have you here.
Definitely. Yeah, no, it's always awesome to have guests, but John, he's always been very kind enough to hop on the show and share his knowledge with the team. So it's always good to see a perspective from someone that's actually played the game. It's a little different than, people that haven't played. So it's nice to get that perspective. So definitely appreciate it. CMC being on the cover of Madden is awesome. I'm still super hyped up about it. Going off of what you said, Ted, like, did the Niners kind of know? I think there was some internal discussion about it. They kept it under wraps, which I love. A lot Niners, they try to keep things at bay. They don't like to leak a lot of information out, and that news was kind of a shock to a lot of people. Kind of like when they traded for CMC, it was a surprising news. There was some rumors and rumblings, but they kind of shocked everybody when they made the trade. And I feel like Christian McCaffrey's agent maybe and his team probably likes to keep things low key, unlike some other players in the league. So I liked about it. Again, I did hear rumors before it happened that he had a photo shoot and he kind of put 1-on-1 together. And, that's kind of how I drew my conclusion. But, yeah, super cool for 49ers, super cool for Madden, super cool for running backs. It's the first time running back is on the cover in, like, decades. So, again, Chris McCaffrey, very well-deserved contract extension. Now he's with the Niners through 2027. Guaranteed money on the deal, and it helped the cap space. Now, that brings me to my next topic. This is kind of like the big topic of the offseason. Brandon Aiyuk. When the heck is this man going to sign his contract? Again, this weekend, another report was out there that the contract negotiations have stalled. This was according to Jeremy Fowler from ESPN on SportsCenter. He talked about it after, several other players had been in the news. I think Kamara and T. Higgins, who signed a one-year deal to stay with the Bengals today. So those kind of numbers or those kind of news kind of came out, and everybody's like, oh, what's going on with Brandon Aiyuk? So apparently negotiations have stalled. And last week when we talked, the number for Brandon Aiyuk was reportedly $26 million a year for Brandon Aiyuk. If he's on his fifth-year contract this year, which he is, he's on his fifth-year deal, or fifth-year option, that's $14 million. So essentially the Niners said, we're going to double your salary. And he said no. So today, I'm going to play the video. This came out. It's super viral. And this is what Brandon Aiyuk had to say after saying no to a $26 million deal. I'm going to play the video. You guys let me know your thoughts.
Bro, look in the cam, bro. Look the cam.
He got me vlogging this shit.
Bro, what? What happened, bro? They said they don't want me back. I swear.
Oh my.
So he says they don't want me back after a $26 million contract. I'm going to get both of your guys' reactions to that video. Ted, what do you think?
I mean, 26. I was saying a lot earlier this offseason, 24 to 26 is what I thought the range would be. Then I upped it to 26 to 28 when we got all these new deals coming in. But it doesn't sound like the Niners are maybe willing to go to 28, maybe, or maybe they have, and we're just not hearing about it. But bottom line is they want him. They just don't want him as badly as he wants them to want him. And you can't pay a guy as a wide receiver 1 if he's never proven he's a wide receiver 1. I think I could do it, but not enough to pay him as if he's already done it. So,
yeah, good thoughts, John. What did you think? What are your initial thoughts on? I don't know if you've been following this closely, but obviously Brandon Aiyuk, the reports are saying he wants like $30 million a year. The Niners are offering between 26 and 28. Now he's saying they don't want him on the team. Is it just drama? Is it theatrics? What's your take on it?
Well, obviously the 49ers have the ultimate trump card in terms of they can wait. And I've seen this kind of play out over the years, especially with the 49ers last 5 or so years, is they do wait to the very, very, very end. And since they have the majority of their team in, this will be an opportunity for their new number 1 draft pick to get even more reps. And during training camp, there are a lot of routes, a lot of running for the players. I just don't see Aiyuk getting signed until after the preseason's over with. And plus, it almost protects him as well as the team's investment of not having them out there during training camp and during preseason games. So if he can stomach it, I think he'll have to wait all the way till to the week 1. That'd be my.
Wow. So missing training. Do you think he'll have a drop in production if he was to miss training camp? What's your thoughts on that? Because we've seen it before. You're right. Debo and Bosa and several players, and their production didn't really scream their contract value when they came back to the team initially.
Yeah, I think so much of it is health. I think Debo got hurt that one year.
He did.
I think the whole attitude, the 49ers today with their strong players being so strong, workout guys, I think he'll come in shape. And then there's also just kind of the luck of not getting hurt. But I think he's going to have to wait till the very end. And then, as I said, the leverage is with the 49ers because he's already signed. So I don't see him coming off of the 20. If in fact it was 26 million, I don't see the 49ers coming off of that number.
I don't either. I mean, 26 is quite a bit of money unless you're trying to feed your kid caviar for every meal. But I mean, still $26 million is a pretty good deal. But Ted, you said you don't think he's worth the $30 million.
He just hasn't proven it. I mean, he could be, and he could go to a team that's desperate and that could work out to be the case. He hasn't proven it as a 49er. And we're not desperate for a wide receiver. We've got Debo, we've got Kittle, we've got CMC, we got Juwan Jennings.
Persall, they signed him again. I mean, I'm not saying
Jacob Cowing, there's a lot of options for the 49ers. Okay. And, the other option for the 49ers is to let him play on his 5th-year option and tag him twice. So, I know they don't want to do that. And, nobody wants to do that. And that's not the plan. But if all else fails and you really want to keep him, you can keep him for 3 more seasons. This season plus 2 more. So, I think Brandon Aiyuk needs to keep that in mind when he's doing his negotiation, is that it's not like, he just gets to go to another team if we don't come to an agreement in this offseason. He doesn't. He has to play at least this season, plus maybe 2 more.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Niners John Lynch did say, they're okay with letting him play on his 5th-year option. If it comes down to it, they're going to pay him $14 million. They're offering him basically double his salary, and it's still he still wants a little bit more off the top, I guess. Maybe more in guarantees, whatever the case, to get up to 30. I mean, I agree with what you're saying. Is he hasn't really proven that he's worth $30 million, but that's the market. He wants to be paid in that top end of the market because he feels he's that way. And I mean, I get it. He was top 7 in receiving yards, and he wasn't, in the top of a reception. So I feel like he thinks he's very efficient, which he was. But there are a lot of options on this team, like you just mentioned. There's so many players. So end of the day, it really depends on, do the 49ers feel like he's valuable to this team for not just this year, but many years to come? Can he be replaced is what they got to answer themselves. And I think a lot of that has to deal with Ricky Pearsall. If he can be that guy, like if they really like gung-ho on him, then they're going to say, hey, guess what? We can replace you with Ricky Pearsall. But if he's not developing the way they thought, they might have to be bending over and pay that $30 million. But on a scale of 0 to 10, Ted, what's your level of concern the 49ers are not going to have BA?
2.
2? Okay. John, what do you think? Level of concern that BA doesn't return to the Niners?
Well, if
with
you
the
look
big
at it,
contract extension?
the 49ers can just wait. I mean, they, as we just pointed out earlier, he really only has one spot to play next year.
Yeah. That's it.
So,
They got the leverage. You guys have it. You
I
guys
just-
said it.
yeah,
And
obviously-
beyond that, I think Brandon wants to play for the Niners, and the Niners want to sign him. So that's the big thing: is do both parties agree and have the same goal? And I really believe they both do. I think the Niners really want him, and I think he really wants us, or the 49ers.
I would hope he does, because Brock's has got. I mean, him and Brock have a great connection. I think it'd be harder for him to go to another team, and I'm sure he can develop, good chemistry with someone else. But he already has that chemistry with Brock, and I think they'll get better together.
And Brock throws such a great catchable ball, right? I mean, look at our drops. We were like leading the league in drops, or maybe not leading, but one of the worst teams for years for drop passes with Jimmy Garoppolo. And all of a sudden, Brock takes over. And last year, all of a sudden, we have one of the best drop rates in the NFL. Same guys, all the same guys. A little more Christian McCaffrey, but Jimmy played with him some. I think he played 6 or 8 games with Christian McCaffrey. So
yeah, I didn't make that comparison earlier, but yes, Brock has a catchable pass, very much like Joe Montana. Does very much like what's the name of that quarterback again? I mean, Tom Brady. So those two guys right there have, what do they have? 11 Super Bowls between the two of them, and they throw a catchable pass. So that's a good observation.
Yeah, that's true. I think he was also another underrated part of his game is his deep pass. People say he's a dink and dunker, but he was like top quarterback in terms of the deep pass. So he has a good touch on the pass. He can throw deep when he needs to. He's just a good quarterback. But again, because of his draft position, he gets discredited a lot. So I think Brandon Aiyuk's definitely a good receiver for him because they have that rapport. He knows where Brandon Aiyuk's going to be. BA knows where Brock's going to be. So hopefully, for the Niners' sake, that he can get this contract done. But just like both of you guys have said, they're not hard pressed. They're going to offer him the money they feel is right, $26 million. If not, cool, you're on contract this year. We'll figure it out next year. I think that's where the Niners are.
It could be the biggest thing that holds Ricky Pearsall back from dethroning Aiyuk and making the 49ers go, well, we don't need Brandon Aiyuk, is the run blocking, where Aiyuk is such a good and willing run blocker. And that usually takes time to develop. And as an NFL receiver coming up from college, that could be the thing that keeps Ricky Pearsall from dethroning Aiyuk, I think.
Well, I know for a fact he's a hard worker, so he fits that mold. And again, we're fortunate to have him too.
Yeah, I think we got a lot of good young weapons. And yeah, Ricky Pearsall, from everything I've heard, from what you've said today, people have said he's just a tremendous worker. He has great work ethic. And that's exciting to hear from a rookie, especially, imagine him coming in. He knows there's some wide receiver drama going on. All he has to do is go out there and keep proving himself to Kyle. And Kyle's going to love the guy. If he goes out there, you tell him to jump, he says how high, that's going to put him in good graces of Kyle, because it's easy to get on Kyle's bad side, but it's harder to get on his good side. Once you're on his good side, I feel like he's going to be able to show you the world, and I think that right now is where Ricky Pearsall is.
And Pearsall was definitely a willing blocker in college, and that's half the battle, is just being willing to try and do it. It's just that blocking DBs in the NFL is a lot more difficult than the DBs in college.
Yeah.
How long does it take him to make that round? I think I'm confident that he will become a good blocker in time. It's just, will it be quick enough to say this year in this negotiation, okay, fine, we're willing to let Brandon walk or trade him away for draft capital or players or what have you. Maybe for a right tackle.
Maybe. I mean, again, too, if they are going to end up trading him, they got to figure out what the value is, because the draft is gone. So then if you're going to trade him for draft picks, you're looking for next year's draft. You got to hope Pearsall, like we said, develops out. And then the other aspect that we haven't talked to yet, next season, Brock Purdy's contract is going to be up. That's when they got it. So every year they have a big contract, right? We've seen Kittle, we've seen Warner, we've seen Debo, we've seen Bosa. This year's Ayuk. Next year, it's going to be Brock Purdy. And if you guys remember last week, Trevor Lawrence is now the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. Trevor Lawrence, former number 1 pick. Now, is he
Trent
worth that
Baalke
money?
strikes again. I'm so
It's
glad
crazy.
he's not our problem anymore.
Yeah, but it kind of becomes our problem because with his contract getting paid $50 million a year, Brock Purdy might, if he has another season like he had last year, he might be getting paid $60 million a year. What do you think, you guys? Like, do you think Brock's gonna get paid $60 million? Do you think he'll be one of those team players like Tom Brady, like John said? He's got some intangibles like him. Would he be a team player and say, "Oh, I'll take a $30 million contract"? Where do you think Brock would range in his contract next year, John?
I think you might take a 10% reduction, maybe, or a 15% reduction to maintain his brand potentially, and to be in a great place to live and play football. But I don't see him playing for 30 if Trevor's getting 50.
Yeah.
So, in any case, we are fortunate. We've got people in the 49er organization that know what they're doing. So I'm bullish on our future.
Yeah. Ted, what do you
They're
think?
saying 45. Maybe we could do. I could live with 45 if Danny Jones is getting 40. Brock Purdy for 45 as a song. I'd be tickled if we could get him for that.
Oh, if he takes that discount that John said, I'd be happy. But if I'm Brock Purdy and I see that Trevor Lawrence is getting 50 million, I'm calling my agent saying, "Give me at least 51. This is kind of crazy." So it's going to be interesting. So the 49ers
he's way
have to look
better.
at. I think so, and he's the last pick of the draft. Whatever he makes is a phenomenal story because he went from the last pick to be making generational money like that. So that's going to definitely impact the 49ers and with what they got to do with Brandon Aiyuk, right? If you're going to pay Brandon Aiyuk $30 million, that's going to take out of what you can afford to pay Brock Purdy, and they got to think about that because, as you guys mentioned and John said, quarterback's the position on a team. That is the most important position. They're the quarterback. They're the guy. They're the leader. That's your lead guy. That's your captain. That's your general, your field general. You need a good quarterback to win a Super Bowl. So it's going to get interesting. The Brandon Aiyuk situation is a little hazy. I think hopefully it clears up. They always figure it out. John mentioned, every year they do have this. They let the contracts drag out. I'm a little tired of it. I want him to just nib it in the butt. But I feel like Brandon Ayuk's also one guy that's part of this issue where he's like, well, I don't want the money. I want to, negotiate my way here. So I get what he's doing. I see someone in the comments says the right thing for BA to do is to milk it. So yeah, he's gonna just milk it, and put pressure on the Niners because they have the leverage. So I see where BA's coming. He's just trying to play possum. And if you watch the video, he's kind of laughing at the end. So I don't know. It's frustrating to me.
Can I change the topic real quick here for a second?
Sure. Yeah.
I'm here at the NFL Alumni Association where I'm the president, and this is our marketing director who's going to come over here. This is Dave August. And
what's happening, guys?
What's up?
So Dave and our other helper there, who's been with us for over 15 years, is 28 years, Russ. But we're working on our NFL Alumni charity golf tournament, and we are in our 40th year anniversary. And you can kind of tell us all about our golf tournament we have with the NFL Alumni.
It's July 19th. It's at County Creek in Morgan Hill. And we're honoring Bill Ring, the great Bill Ring, Super Bowl winner, and Jerry Robinson Raiders. We have 30-something ball players there. It's our 40th anniversary. It's just a class act tournament. Whoever wins our tournament goes and plays in the Super Bowl of golf, all paid for. Wherever the Super Bowl's at is where the golf tournament at.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
And whoever wins that tournament gets a Super Bowl golf ring.
Oh.
So that's like the grand finale.
Oh, very nice. And you said July 19th, you said?
July 19th.
Coyote Creek.
Yep.
Do we have any open spots there, Dave? Open golf spots?
Hard to say at this point.
So if you want to get in, you have to call here and beg Dave to get you in. There are
beg him.
Beg him.
Yeah, that's it.
And all funds raised goes to our Caring for Kids programs.
All right.
Nice. Very nice.
All right, you
Good
guys,
stuff.
you
Thank
guys
you.
go back to work.
Thank you.
Get him back. Yeah, but you're the president.
The cameo.
Nice.
That's
nice.
awesome. You know, I met Bill Ring. He played at CSM before he was a 49er. And a family member of mine was the surgeon for CSM, orthopedic surgeon. So
Yeah. I mean, you guys we keep talking about these guys, and these are the type of guys that make the 49ers great, are these hard workers. So
great special teamer.
yeah, I hear all these comments about hard workers, and that was a prevailing theme when I was with them in the 80s. Bill Ring, and I see that same component now. We just need to close out our games. We spent so much time in training camp when I was with the 49ers up at Sierra College for training camp, talking about 4 minutes, the last 4 minutes of the game, 4-minute drill. So basically, we needed to stop them on defense, get the ball, and all you had to do is make 2 first downs to control the game and put it out of reach. So we just need to finish better so that we can put more Super Bowls rings on our plate.
Some fresh ones coming up. It's gonna be 30 years here now. Jeez.
Nice. John, I got a question from Darwin's Ravens. He says, will the golf tournament be streamed? He wants to know if you guys are streaming the golf tournament.
I don't think we are streaming it. No.
Okay. No, there's a no stream, but come on down and watch.
You guys want to come on down and stream it?
There. Oh, we could.
Yeah, you guys. Well, actually, what day is today? Today is Monday.
Today's Monday, the 17th. Yeah.
Well, usually our golf tournaments are on Monday, but actually this year it's on Friday. But maybe one day we'll have your program down there at a golf tournament. We show.
There we go.
That'd be awesome.
We'll do our show from the stream from the golf tournament.
Come out Friday, man.
I'm not a very good golfer, but as a 22 handicap, I do get a lot of strokes. So when I do have a good hole, we usually kill people because I get a couple strokes knocked off of a good score. It can be deadly.
There we go.
There you go.
Stream it, man.
Yeah, we could maybe set that up one day. Come out, stream it, give you guys some publicity on it too. So it'd be cool. I've done that a couple times with some shows. We've done like some streams at an event, and we've done the show. So that's always fun.
A lot of good interviews. There'll be about 30 former NFL players there.
Yeah, come out on the 19th, man. What are you waiting
Let's
for?
do it. Well, let's do it. If I'm available, I'll definitely come out on the 19th. And
I think we're back in town. I know we have a LA road trip in July, but I think it's like the 4th through mid-July. So 19th, we should be back.
We'll call John and we can give you a hole to live stream it right at. We have one hole left.
There we go. Let's
right.
do it. I'm down, Ted. Let's go and do a live stream on it.
Yeah, I'd be definitely excited to do that if it works out for everybody, for sure.
Yeah, we'll keep it. I'll take a look at the schedule, see how things going, and we can figure that out. But any other things you got going, John? I know you're pretty busy over there as the president, El Presidente. Any other things you want to kind of let the fans know about?
Well, yeah, I'm real behind our community and making our community stronger. I just the bocce ball tournament that Coach Mooch did was to benefit Special Olympics, which is dear to me because I have a special ed kid, son named Jack, and also I have a connection with the Madden family. Coach Madden's son, Mike Madden, he suffered from colon cancer just like my mom. My mom passed away. Mike has he battled and conquered his cancer ailment, but he was at the tournament. He supported that event. That was Coach Mooch's, and then he also supported my event that I do every year, which is called Inside Anne's Closet, that promotes colon cancer awareness and colon cancer screening. So I'm up for any type of program event that's fun and raises good money and makes an impact on our society.
Sonny, and then also, John, weren't you going to tell us a little bit about the? I think there was for people who don't know, John sells real estate as well too. In there, I think there was a house. Was it in Saratoga?
Yeah, we just sold a house. I've also had a long coaching career. I partnered with one of my wide receivers when I was the offensive coordinator for Coach for Menlo College. Interestingly, the athletic director at that time when I was coaching at Menlo College was Sean Spanik, who was our wide receiver. Craig Walsh was the athletic director, and on my staff. One of my teammates, who's the head coach, was Kenny Marjoram. So in any case,
Marjoram, he played at Stanford, right?
He played at Stanford. He played with the Bears, and then he finished his career with the 49ers. He was 84, and he was the last person to wear 84 before Brent Jones got the number.
Nice.
So in any case, yes, I can help your real estate needs here in the Bay Area or anywhere in Northern California for that matter.
Nice. There you go. And you said earlier today you got first round pick Ricky Persall, a new spot. So
yeah, so Sean Spanik and I do a program called Sports Star Relocation. We're a national affiliated sports real estate connection person where we take athletes when they move around and get them situated with rentals or home ownership in any major league city that has a pro football, pro basketball, or baseball or hockey.
Very nice. That's cool. Good stuff, man. You're all over the place. He busy guy. It seems like the president.
Having a lot of fun. Getting also excited about our summer here.
Definitely. You got any big plans for the summer here, other than
well, I just got back from Italy where my daughter got married. So
congrats!
That's for me, yes. And I made it down with the island with my daughter, and so I'm so excited for her. She's very, very happy, and at 31, she's her and her husband, I think, are going to potentially deliver some grandchildren for me. So I'm looking for that.
There you go. That'll be fun. Good stuff.
I'll never forget when I got married. The priest was talking to my wife. She was really nervous, and the priest was saying, "Well, as you're coming in, just look down the aisle, look at all your family, and that'll help you to, feel a little more comfortable. And then as you get past there, look up at the altar and at me, and I'll do my best to calm you down. And then, when you see your husband, that'll help too." And she goes, "Okay, I think I got it. She says, "I think, all right, I'll alter him."
There you go. Yes.
Anyway, that's actually a joke that the priest told, but I couldn't help myself there. But congrats, that's awesome. I hope you had a great trip, and thanks for working us into your busy day, your busy life. We really appreciate it. Cool. And it's been a lot of fun as always.
Yeah, all definitely. Right. Yeah, congrats. Thanks for hopping on.
Great. And I'll sign off for now. Thank you very much. Anytime you want me, I'm on there for you guys. And also send me the copy after it's all done.
For sure. Yeah. Thanks again.
Thanks, Sean.
Bye-bye.
Take care. All right. Big John Paye, ladies and gentlemen. Always happy to have him hop on. So, cool dude. It's pretty cool. Former 49er. He's a legend. He's a former 49er.
And Stanford. He was there at Stanford, not right out. I think he was the next big quarterback after John Elway.
Look at that. Look at this. Right in the middle.
He played basketball.
In the middle of greatness there. Look at that.
And last time he was on with us, he was telling us about how he played against Michael Jordan. And Jordan, he was like up kind of in the elbow of the key trying to defend him. And Jordan just like jumped over his shoulder and dunked on him from like basically the top, not the top of the key, but from the corner of the free throw line.
Yeah. Yeah. Good stuff,
pretty
man.
Incredible stuff. Yeah.
Pretty cool stuff. So before we end, Ted, I'm going to go over. So there's a lot of comments on there. I'm going to get to some of these comments. A lot of people have some good stuff. Again, the big news of the day, Brandon Aiyuk. I want to play that video game because, watch the end. Watch Brandon. He kind of turns. They're baiting everybody. It's Brandon Aiyuk's playing fucking games, man. Sign the money. $26 million, Ted. Generational contract. Look, the Niners, John made it the most amazing point of the day of, look, he's on contract for a 50-year option. They don't care. The Niners are like, hey, look, we're going to double your income. No, cool. If you don't take this contract, you're still on contract for us. You're still gonna get paid, but a lot less in the future. Because regardless if Brandon Aiyuk signs this extension or not, this year he's getting paid his 5th-year option money. Regardless, you could be getting paid $70 million a year next year if that's what they decide on. This year you're only getting paid 14. So for the 49ers, it doesn't matter what happens this year. Regardless, they're paying him 14. So they're like, all right, cool. We'll just stay on your 5th-year option, and then the rest is whatever the case is. 49ers, if they really want to, they can call up the Commanders, because you know who their GM is, Adam Peters, and say, hey, give us Terry McLaurin. We'll give you BA, and let's call it a day. Bottom line. I'm
Terry
gonna play the
Terry.
video.
He's
The
a hell of
video
a
is-
receiver.
I
He's a
think-
lot faster than BA too, isn't he?
Let's go. Let's do it. I'm gonna play the video. We'll play it again. It's just because watch the reaction. Somebody in the comments said it's sarcasm. I think they're playing everybody.
Bro, look in the cam, bro. Look the cam.
He got me vlogging this shit.
Bro, what? What happened, bro? They said they don't want me back. I swear.
Oh my.
He's so corny. Even the girlfriend's like, they got me vlogging this. Come on, man.
It's all fun and games.
Oh my God, man. Sign the money. $26 million. Take it. Take it or leave it.
Nah, he'll get a little more than that. I think he'll get 27.
I think at this point he'll get 28.5.
There you go.
There we go. I don't know. It kills me. Let me see. We got Darius says, should I call Rams versus Lions or 49ers versus Jets? Niners Jets. That's gonna be a great game. Let's see. If Rob says if BA caught that scramble pass in the corner of the end zone against Seattle, he would get $30 million plus easy, but he dropped it. Wow.
No, but you know what? Though that wasn't all on BA because the linebacker recovered because Purdy had to stop, and then he regathered himself and stepped into it, and by then that their middle linebacker, not Bobby Wagner, but the other guy who's not as good, he was like the special teamer turned into, but he recovered and he got his hand up. I don't know if he touched the ball, but he definitely got his hand in there, and when
he deflected it a little, right?
Whizzes by someone's hand, you only get a split second after it clears the hand to adjust to it. And
yeah.
I know he's a pro receiver, and some pros will make that catch, but I don't blame Brandon Aiyuk for dropping that one.
Yeah, it hit his fingers a little wrong. So
I blame Brock Purdy for stopping. If he had a cannon of an arm, he would have been able to.
Okay. Let's not
That's
get on
the
this
old
train.
Ted. That's the old.
Yeah,
Ted.
it's the old Ted. The old Ted would have. Yeah, let's not get there, Ted. You're pulling over old wounds. So Blood Moon says, honestly, why does Brock have to show more than these other QBs, these so-called elite quarterbacks, what he has done 1.5, 5 years versus Stroud has people drooling over his nuts in 1 year. Pause. I mean, CJ Stroud, to be honest, I'm drooling. That guy's doing things that no rookie has done. But I get what you're saying. The point is, people put Brock Purdy in the microscope. They always move the goalpost because he's the last pick. It's not supposed to be this way. He's an anomaly. No last pick of the draft does this. That's not right. He shouldn't be doing this. He shouldn't be this good. There has to be a reason. Oh, it's the weapons. Oh, it's this. They can't accept that Brock Purdy is just he's a good quarterback. That they can't accept it. Just like we sit here and we say Brandon Aiyuk's maybe not worth $30 million. So in a way, it's kind of the same thing. I understand, that's the sports. Everybody has an opinion. Do we think Brock Purdy's worth $50 million? I think so. Do we think Brandon Aiyuk's worth $30 million? I don't think so. So it can work both ways. It's weird. It's crazy. That's sports. Crazy.
I'm with you.
Red Jet Shell says, I like the new Ted over the old Ted. Yeah, the old Ted was definitely a vibe.
The old Ted was a little blow Ted, let's be honest.
Ted.
I was 335 back in February and down to 285 now. So
yeah, you've lost some weight and grown some insight, I think.
Yeah.
At this point. I remember every day.
I did injure my calf on Friday. I was out mountain biking in El Granada at Quarry Park and popped my calf. So yikes. I don't know. It could be 2 to 4, 4 to 6, 6 to 8. I mean, I don't know. It's going to be whatever it is, whatever I'm feeling tightness. And then I'm going to wait 2 weeks beyond that before I go back to trail riding.
Yeah, you don't want to rupture your Achilles.
No, exactly. I know. Exactly. And that's what I was saying when it happened. At least it wasn't my Achilles. But basically, but then also part of me is what happens when the guys get tightness on the sideline? They go ride the stationary bike. So I am going to ride bikes still, just not the dangerous parts, not the pump track or the trail riding.
Keep it easy. Keep it easy. Stretch and take it easy for a little bit.
Yeah, that was the problem. Is I did the pump track in the morning, trails in the afternoon, didn't stretch in between,
Oh
No, it's
yeah,
just
you
like
overworked. You overworked yourself, Ted.
I
Come
was
on.
I was begging for a problem, and I got one. So yeah,
You definitely
well,
did.
it's all on Teddy Talks Bikes, all one word. Check it
Go.
out.
Let's go. Let's go check
Pushing
it
up
out.
on 50 subs already in just a couple
There you
weeks.
go.
So, yeah,
Go check
doing
out
well.
Teddy Talks Bikes. If you want to hear about Ted talk about bikes, check it out. Teddy
Well,
Talks
actually, I
Bikes.
haven't really talked much. It's all ride videos so far. But now that I'm laid up for a while, I'll probably do some live
Do
streams,
some actual talking. So you were
Q&A,
doing.
some stuff on like common bike problems people have, how to fix a derailleur so you can change gears, how to fix your brakes so that you're
There we
safe to
go.
ride, things like
Good
that.
stuff. Good stuff.
E-bike stuff.
Any final words, thoughts, Niners things? I mean, again, there wasn't a lot of news, but Brandon Aiyuk, man, needs to just sign his contract. Just sign it in.
Sign it. I got Ryan from No Border Sports tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. Or wait a minute, I think he's actually away. I think we're off tomorrow. So no show tomorrow. I got McNiner on Wednesday at 3:20.
There we go. I'll be
What
live
do
with
you
Larry.
got coming up, Raj? That you want to promote?
I'll be live with Larry Kruger sometime tomorrow night around like 8 p.m. Pacific. We'll be doing that, and then otherwise, just be busy working. So that's what we got looking forward to, and hopefully we get some Brandon Aiyuk news in the next couple of days. So
Hopefully.
all right, you guys have a good rest of your day. Appreciate the chat. Thanks to John Paye. Let me see. There was one more comment I wanted to see. It says Blood Moon says Stroud. He has done things that no other rookie has done versus the last pick of the draft, a non-special player with no freak abilities doing things that no other QB has done. Which story is better? Oh yeah, obviously Brock Purdy's story is fantastic. But I'm just saying, CJ Stroud is. I get the
He's
hype on
legit.
CJ Stroud.
And
I
Jordan
get the
Love
hype.
is too.
Yeah.
The NFL's in good hands with these three young quarterbacks for sure.
Yeah. Good stuff. Anyways, you guys have a good rest of your day. Have a good weekend. Or not weekend. Have a good week. And then enjoy the weekend. Because we won't see you guys till Monday. Me and Ted ain't going to see you guys till Monday. So hopefully there's a lot of news. So when I talk to you next week, we have a lot to talk about.
And maybe a Friday show coming up in July on the 19th.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes. That'll be fun. That'll be a vibe.
I'm down if you are. So
I'm down. I just got to make sure I'm available.
All right. Me too. Yeah, I got to make sure I'm back in town. But I think we are. Pretty sure.
All right. Good stuff. Ted, thank you. Have a good day. Appreciate
too,
y'all. Go
Peace. Go
Niners.
Niners.